You know, I think you should slow your roll there. I mean, you just had me tied up here while you droned on and on about your nemesis. Like, why are you so obsessed with him anyway? Like, I know you're supposed to be obsessed with him, because he's your nemesis and all that, but why are you actually this obsessed? What am I talking about? You spent like 5 minutes just talking about his perfect locks, or however you put it. 5 minutes about hair. Oh no. Do not try to say that had anything to do with how much you despise your nemesis. What do I look like? Some kind of fool? Oh wow. You do despise him, do you? And that's why you spent those 5 minutes talking about his hair? I'm not buying it. Because you spent about 20 minutes talking about how guilty you felt that time you made that ray that made people turn against him. I mean, if you really hated someone that much, would you really feel guilty about getting random citizens to do your dirty work for you? If you don't keep your mouth shut, make sure you can never speak again. After I was nice enough to listen to your extremely long spiel about your nemesis, you wound me. Really. Oh, so now I'm annoying you. Maybe you should just like let me go about my day in peace. Maybe you can do something else with your time while you're at it. Instead of like taking people off the street and keeping them tied to a chair while you vent about your feelings. What? How long has it been? Like maybe 2 hours? Thereabouts. Why do you ask? He normally gets onto the scene within 15 minutes. I mean, I didn't realize you counted the minutes like that. Kind of proves the whole obsessed thing. Whoa. You do not need to get up in my face like that. Have you heard of personal space? You can repeat it as much as you want, but you can't fool me. You're obsessed on a whole other level compared to other villains. That's counting the very, very public affair between Miss Spectre and Electrique. I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever seen video footage of those two, but even without sound, you can tell they're just like hardcore flirting with each other. I'm sorry, did you just say that's what you want? You? The villain who commanded an army of literal pests to destroy the city? Didn't you have to like call pest control when you got irritated a bunch of roaches were hiding away in your pantry instead of doing your bidding? Hmm. Well, I think I will keep reminding you about your past failures, alright? I've spent long enough listening to you talk about your precious nemesis that. Okay, look me in the eye and tell me you don't fantasize about him. You can't, can you? I don't even need to be able to read your mind to know. It's written all over your face. It's good that you're letting out. So, what was the point of all this anyway? Like, what's the plan? What did you expect to accomplish with all of this? That you'd be able to just, like, what, sweep him off his feet with all of this? I mean, you did take a hostage. I think that would be more confusing than anything, really. I mean, if you had a secret you really wanted to tell him, wouldn't it have made, like, so much more sense to, like, call, text, heck, write a letter, just, or, like, schedule a meeting face to face, as opposed to, this. Besides, didn't you say your nemesis normally shows up like real quick? Really quickly? So isn't it a little odd he hasn't shown up in, what, 2 hours? Yeah. And since that's the case, is there even still a reason to keep me here? I hate to break it to you. I don't think he's gonna be heading over here anytime soon. Maybe he's got himself tied up with something. I mean, I know that's your nemesis and all, but you aren't the only criminal in the city. Just like any other big city, we've got a real lot of petty crime around here. How exactly were you gonna keep him here once he showed up anyway? The rope? Really? Like nothing special or extravagant? Like anything? I don't think giving someone rope burn is the best way to tell him you have feelings for him. I mean, yes, it could get his attention in other ways. I mean, you've even started giving me ideas since you've had me restrained for so long. If I didn't know any better, I think you really, really enjoyed stuff like this. Your whole shtick is control, after all. I mean, what with your compulsion, persuasion, your really weird marionette things you call minions. Finally, that you'd never let me out of these ropes. I do tie that note. Leave? Are you sure you want me to leave? Because I won't lie to you. I kind of thought we had like a moment there for a second. Fine, fine, I'll leave. Don't expect to be seeing that nemesis of yours again once I do. For a person who works so much with the mind, really surprised you haven't figured it all out yet. You finally caught on, have you? You're the reason your nemesis didn't show up in the first place. Because you, like, already caught him. It was me. You, you look surprised. You know, I figured you would be, but, like, it's kind of funny, right? Out of all the random civilians, all of them you could have taken off the streets, you snatched me. Sorry if I embarrassed you by not saying anything. I mean, like, you were really in the zone. It was nice seeing you all excited for once. Instead of, like, murderous or hell bent on world domination. Makes you look almost like an ordinary person. Almost. What do you mean, so? So, what? How do I feel about all of that, you mean? Well, like, I guess if I'm being honest here, I never expected you to have feelings for me like that. I figured our relationship was, like, purely professional. If you want it to be less professional, well, I mean, we could. Yes, I would like that a lot, actually. I've been feeling the same way towards you lately. But, you could have done this, like, on a day that wasn't one of the few days I didn't have to fight crime. Are you actually sorry? Or are you just saying that? Don't worry about it. This isn't my choice for a first date, but I kind of liked it. Oh, you don't want me to call this our first date? Why not? Isn't that, like, exactly what it was? How is it not? I mean, now you know what I look like out of costume. I think that's about as intimate as a first date could get. But if you really want to do over, you're gonna have to do things the right way. So what do you say? How badly do you want this? Then it's settled. I believe that makes us, well, not partners, because that's used colloquially in the supervillain. Lovers. Right there. Lovers. And in that case, I think you need to get changed. For what? For our date, of course. Yes, I want to go on one right now. I want to go on a date with my obsessive, wonderful new lover. Now go get changed. I'll wait for you. Figure out how you tied this darn knot.